Dr. Avnish, welcome here to our discussion. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. How are you?
Everything is fine. I want you to briefly introduce yourself right now and also introduce the festivals you are handling for other filmmakers to know about if they didn't submit before to your festival.
Well, I'm Dr. Avnish Rajvanshi. I'm an oil and gas producer by profession and filmmaker by passion. So,
Yes,
as I told you that I have been working with Shell International, and now
yes,
recently I have put all my energies into the filmmaking and film business. In this context, I have started some film festivals at four places in the world. The first one is in Holland, in The Hague, where I used to live, the Hague Global Cinema Festival. The second one we have done in India. It is a place in Western India, Alwar International Film Festival. The third one we are about to launch. We are in fact ready, but because of coronavirus, we are holding it. It is in Hollywood, and the fourth one we are doing in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So these are the
yes.
four film festivals which we are organizing. Our festival in the Hague Global Cinema Festival has been very well received. It has a tremendous support last year from local audience there and also international participation. We were managed to achieve three housefuls. There was so much of crowd who come to see who came to see the films, and
Yes.
that festival has been honored to have IMDb qualifying status. So any filmmaker who submits his or her film in that festival, and if we select that film, that gets a free IMDb page from our site. So this is one of the milestones which we have achieved in that festival. The other festivals, the Alwar International Film Festival was also a tremendous success in which many people from Bollywood attended, and also international film festivals, filmmakers attended that festival.
Yes. Right now, usually, uh, generally speaking, about your four festivals, you usually have sufficient fund to invite each filmmaker with his film, or it depends on the country you are organizing.
Well, the business models is varying from country to country. As you know, the festival business has two revenue streams. One is that very small amount which comes from the filmmakers, and the second, which is the main thing, is that sponsorship which we get from local business people or from the government. For example, in Holland, we are doing our festival in Film House. That is one of the most prestigious theaters in Europe. So doing a festival in that film house is an honor, but at the same time there is a constraint. The constraint is that we cannot get any outside sponsor. So either the government gives some money to run the festival, or the promoters themselves to give the money. So right now I'm because I'm the promoter of the festival, so I'm funding it from my own side. But slowly, the business model is that this will become self-sustained, and eventually it will be some sort of profit making, in the sense that it helps filmmakers travel, it helps filmmakers submit their films without any cost. The idea
Yes.
is to promote the art of cinema. The idea here for me is not to make a lot of money from this business. So this is my idea is to increase so awareness about international cinema, just to have cultural diversity, just to have different people from different cultures see films from different cultures. It is my way of essentially promoting universal brotherhood, harmony, love through the art of cinema by showing these films. I am providing platform to young cinema makers, to young filmmakers who are students. In most of the time, we are not charging any charge fee from them. We are encouraging them. In fact, we are helping them in travels also, like in Alvar Film Festival. Some student filmmakers from Poland came, and we helped them in traveling to India and to present their film. So
Yes,
this is the idea behind it. I mean, this is not a business which can make a lot of money.
yes. Um, I want to ask you because just yesterday, for instance, I heard that until now Europe doesn't permit touristic visa. Even people who have visas already cannot travel. Um, do you think this problem about traveling will affect film festival? And also, what do you think about a lot of festival changing their model into the online model?
Because of this coronavirus pandemic, festivals have been suffering like all other economic activities or cultural activities. There is a lot of suffering.
Yes,
In our case, for example, in the Netherlands, the government has opened theaters there, and they are watching. So our festival is in November, 13th, 14th, 15th of November, and the government has allowed us to do the festival as planned. But what
hmm,
we are doing here is that we are doing a hybrid model, which means we will do live screening of the films as well as we will do online screening of the films. So those people who are local or who are allowed to travel or who can easily travel, they can participate live. But others will certainly be basically constrained to be online. So travel restrictions, it all depends how this virus gets settled down. Because yesterday I was watching news that around 15, 16 countries have been allowed, people from 15, 16 countries have been allowed to travel to Europe. I'm sure especially here in the Netherlands, people from Germany, from France, from Belgium, I mean, these are neighboring countries. They can easily drive down to watch the festival, to participate in the festival. Of course, people coming from USA will be difficult. People from coming from India or from Southeast Asia will be certainly difficult. But European people, nearby people can certainly join. And that's why we have decided to do it in a hybrid. For other festivals, which will be now postponed to 2021, I hope it will be a normal live screening festival as the way we are doing as
yeah. Before I continue to ask you cinema question,
usual.
since you have a background in oil, what do you think about the oil business in the current time?
Well, the my personal perception about the oil, especially if you talk about oil, I'm not talking
Yes,
about gas. Oil in 20, 30 years of time will lose its value as a fuel.
yes,
I mean, oil has lots of byproducts. They, so oil will be produced for those purposes. But I'm quite hopeful of technology breakthroughs, especially in the solar energy or in some alternative energy, that slowly cars will be more moved to that alternative energy. So for transportation, the use of oil will be drastically reduced. Oil business as a whole is going to be gloomy at least for another few years because of there is abundant supply. This is all demand and supply. We have more supply than demand. That's why if you see that
yes,
OPEC and OPEC Plus, they are controlling the oil production these days to bring it back. The Prince of Saudi Arabia, he played a very dirty game when he wanted to kill the the shale gas industry in USA, and he simply managed to drop the oil price. So this
yes,
is more of a demand and supply in a political game. But technologically speaking, and as a person who has spent a few decades in oil and gas business, I don't see a very bright future for oil and gas in the coming time. And I don't advise any young man or young woman to go in for this business at this stage in life because
Yes,
it may not survive after 20, 25 years. There has to
yes,
be, because see the climate change, there are greenhouse gas emissions, CO2 things. There are so many things associated with this business, and people
yes,
are getting aware of these things now.
yes. Yes, and also there are a lot of, I think, technology related to, solar energy right now
Mm.
to replace oil as well. I
The-
mean, in
Exactly,
transportation.
exactly. This is what I said, that the solar energy, it's a matter of technology breakthrough. It's a matter of
Yes.
technology breakthrough. Solar energy, there
Mhm.
is abundance of solar energy, and there are lots of things for heating, building heatings. I mean, if you come to our Shell headquarters in the Hague, we have a solar plant. I mean, that building gets heated by solar energy, even though there is hardly any sun. If you go to Oxford, there
Yes.
is a huge new building. They have a solar energy system for heating the building. So solar energy has a lot of potential. Oil and gas, oil will certainly be, useful for its byproducts. There are so many things, everything which we consume, or almost everything we consume in life, this comes from oil. Crude oil is a big source of a lot of things which we use every day. So oil will be produced for those purposes, but for fuel, I hope perhaps not.
Yes. I want also to speak to you about your production and filmmaking side. Uh, you kindly sent me an article from the website filmyaction.in, and it's interviewing you about a recent film you appeared on and you produced as well.
Mm.
Correct? It's Nurture
Nurture,
Nature.
nurture, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about it, and I want to ask you as well, as a filmmaker right now, because all of the filmmakers we're trying to communicate with are thinking out of the box to promote their films. So if you are a filmmaker and you want to promote your film, how do you think about it?
So first, a few minutes on nurture nature.
Yes,
This basically idea came when we were all locked down. I mean, nobody was able to move, and I have uh, teams from each festivals. I have big teams, and I have my own team. And I was talking to different team members, and I realized that it is very important to keep people motivated. At that time, one of a very active team members, Keuri Shah, who is a very well-known Bollywood actress and theater artist. She spoke with me and she came up with this idea. She said there is an idea that we can make this type of a film. I'm not sure whether you have seen that film or not. And what do you think about it? So I said it is a fantastic idea because that film essentially tells us that what how different people from different professions have been passing their time during this lockdown. And then the film ends with the certain questions. These questions are very obvious questions. These questions about how much exploitation we have done to the mother nature and what can we do about it? How can we undo it? How can we help nature grow itself? Because during the lockdown period, you must have also observed that nature suddenly bloomed. Everything became so pleasant. The sky became blue. Animals came on the roads. All the birds, sparrows, they all disappeared. They all came back, and the nature was dancing. So certainly we have contributed a lot in destroying nature. So those questions are very relevant, yeah, and
yes,
everybody knows the answers. We have been, for that, this that film has become quite interesting these days, and a lot of people are talking to us about that. And what normally I do, when we talk about that film, I talk with one or two of my colleagues who have also participated in that film, and then we share our thoughts that how we did it and what went behind it. So my suggestion to you is that please watch that film, have a look. I have sent you the link, or not yet. Maybe if not, I'll send you the link. Watch the
Yes,
film, and if you like and if you have time, we can have a bigger conversation about the whole concept of making that film and how we did it. You see, there are lots of known actors in that film. The majority of people who have participated, they are known actors, and everybody shot that film using a mobile phone at their home. And the person who was using a mobile phone at their home was not a cameraman. It was either their
yes,
mother or brother or somebody who never knew how to handle a camera. And the lighting, dress, how hard it was, such a hard work to. And people are located at different parts of the world. There are different cities, different countries. So it is so hard to explain to people and give instructions in different time zones. So this was really a journey. I mean, but all of us enjoyed it. It was a 1 month journey when we did it. And then editing was a big challenge for this film because as each mobile phone has a different format. So, converting it to a single format and then making a nice edited video was not so simple. So maybe if you like, we can talk about it in details some other time.
of
Now,
course.
your question of how can we promote the films these days because of the corona pandemic and theaters are closed and films are not getting released there.
Mhm.
So these days, these OTT platforms, I mean, they are very good answers. Recently, a big Bollywood film, which was supposed to be released in theaters, has been released in Amazon Prime, in Prime Video. See, these days, as a filmmaker, you would appreciate that, because of mobile phone, because of easy availability of camera, filmmaking has not become such a big challenge. It has become much easier for people to play with it. I'm not
Yes,
saying anybody who is holding a camera in his hands, he can be a filmmaker, but he can pretend to be a filmmaker or he can try to be a filmmaker. And at the same time, because of internet, because of YouTube, because of different channels, there are hundreds of channels, there's internet, there are so many, WhatsApp, so many ways of promoting your work. This helps a lot. I mean, if somebody is serious about promoting these on these platforms, that helps a
yeah.
lot.
Um, Finally, right now, can you explain to the viewers how can they submit their films to the Haggis Film Festival through a platform or through the website of the festival directly?
No, we are getting films through Film Freeway website, filmfreeway.com,
Please.
filmfreeway.com.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the reason for getting through a portal, this portal is a Canada-based company who are providing us these services. The
Yes.
reason is because we have around 22, 23 judges who are located all over the world.
Yes.
So if I get this on my website, then it is very difficult to get everybody give the access to that film. So because if the film is supported submitted in that portal, all the judges can access it anytime, anywhere in the world. So that helps us a lot, in management of the films because last year we got more than 900 films in the Hague Film Festival. Here, this year also so far we have already more than 500 films. So
Yes.
the number is very high. The number is very
Yes.
high. The number of judges are very high. So we have to have a very scientific way of managing it to so that people can see it. And I, as a festival director, can keep an eye that who is seeing the films, who is not seeing the films, who has seen it, and what sort of comments these judges are doing. Are they serious about their work? Are they simply, just watching and not seriously commenting it? So I'm very particular about it. that anybody who
Yes.
watches the film, he does a serious justice, to the filmmaker, because people, I myself as a filmmaker, I know the pains of making a film. So whenever a judge judges the film for the festival, so he should give due diligence or to judge the film. So if
Yes.
anybody wants to submit the films in the Hague Global Cinema Festival, he is most welcome to submit the films in the Hague Global Cinema Festival through Film Freeway site. The only one thing, because a lot of film makers in fact ask for fee waiver. Unfortunately, in the Hague Global Cinema Festival, our colleagues, our team, we have taken a conscious decision that we will not give any fee waiver here. We can give some discount to deserving filmmakers, but no free entry. So people are most welcome. And the other film festival, which is right at this moment is taking entries, is Alvar International Film Festival. In that film festival, we are a little bit liberal. I mean, people who are from such countries like Iran. I mean, we know the problems in Iran. There is a problem with currency and the economic conditions. If they are requesting us for a fee waiver, we are happy to give them. I mean, that team is a little bit flexible. So I have, as I said, they are different teams and they are taking decisions, and we are just going with the business model is varying from country to country.
Yes. Yes, what I like to say, in addition to your information, that although there are a lot of other platforms for film submission, I see that Film Freeway is the most favorite among film festivals and also filmmakers,
Yeah.
because it has a very friendly and professional interface.
Mm.
And like you mentioned, it is accessible by all the people handling the festival, either the head of the festival or the programmers or the judges, etc.
Mm.
The second thing I want to mention, that it's a question actually. You mentioned like you receive around 500, and maybe the number will exceed until the festival becomes close. But at the end of the festival, how many films do you screen that make it to the catalog of the festival, like we say?
Well, I can tell you about last year what we did,
Yes,
because this year I don't
yes,
know, because the still films are coming and we are still evaluating these.
of course.
Last year we received 900 films in the
Yeah,
Hague Global Cinema Festival, and
mhm,
out of those, it was a very tough choice. We narrowed it down to 90. So the first
mhm,
first pass was the 90 award-worthy films, and
yes,
then we had the screening time. We got two cinema halls, two theaters in film house, and we had a certain number of hours where we could have shown the films. And so from 90, in fact, we had to narrow down to 22. So those 22 were really gems. It was a really tough competition to screen those films. But what we did, in fact, we had issued a certificate of official selection to all those 90 films, because they were all worthy of screening. But screening had an issue there, that the cinema hall is available for 2 days and there is a limited time we can screen the films. The other issue was especially in the Hague Global Cinema Festival, because we show films in the theater there. So there is a, I'm sure you know about it. There is a particular format called DCP. DCP
yes,
format for the film to show in a theater. So in many cases, what has happened, we wanted to show the film in the theater, but the filmmaker could not provide us in the DCP format.
yeah,
So we had to leave that film. So those people, and at the end of the all this exercise, in fact, we ended up making DCPs for one or two films, because we realized that the filmmaker is not in a position to make it. So we said, okay, this will be little expensive. It's an expensive process to make DCP film, DCP format. We said we will make it because we want to show this film in the festival. So this is the thing. And out of these 22, 9 films got awards.
Yes, because I think, sir, that also a lot of filmmakers, especially independent filmmakers or makers of short films, they don't have the financial means to transform their film into DCP format.
Yeah,
Because it also takes a lot of it needs a budget to transform it
yeah,
that way. You know.
yeah. It's expensive. Yeah.
So before I close the discussion, I want to thank you very much, and I want to ask you if you want to add anything for other filmmakers or for other colleagues working in the cinema industry. Do you have any word you want to say to them?
Well, I would my little piece of I would not say advice, but my feelings, which I can share with the fellow filmmakers or the budding filmmakers or the experienced filmmakers, is that don't lose heart because of this corona pandemic. This too shall pass. And I have been seeing lots of films these days because of these film festivals. So the quality of filmmaking and the ideas, the thinking is really growing. People are doing a lot of experiments, which is fine. But I would like to give one quotation from a very famous film director. You mentioned Raj Kapoor.
Yes,
In the beginning of he was not only a big artist, he was a very famous director also. So
yes,
in I was listening to one of his interviews the other day, and he said that this is very important. He said this movie is movement. When we talk about movie means movement. Movement means if you silence, if you reduce the volume, you can't hear, but only by actions you should be able to understand what's going on. And
yes,
if you don't see the picture, if you only listen to the sound, if you only listen to the dialogues, you should be able to visualize what is happening on the screen. See, this is a very important message for the filmmakers, that we have to be very important that what we show or as a picture, that should convey a message. People should understand what we are showing, and when people speak, they should also convey a message what's happening. So movement is life of movie. So I'm sure the word movie is from movement. So this is
yes,
what my message is to all my even my jury members or my judges. I also tell them about this, that follow this thing. If you see the old Charlie Chaplin films, there is no dialogue, but we understand what's going on.
yes, sir.
So this is the message, if you like.
Great. Okay, okay, Doctor Avnish. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Uh, and I will be very happy to post additional information about the website. And from my side, I wish you all the best. Huh?
Thank you very much.
And I wish all your family, friends, and all the colleagues at your festivals help you. My best wishes, and I hope that everyone be safe from this pandemic until humanity can get rid of it forever.
Thank you
So,
very much. I also wish you the same. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah.